Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to your halftime show with me, Martin. I am pleased you can all be with me. Let me know you're in the chat section. Get your halftime thoughts in while Mr. Matt Phillips and Steve Thompson join us. Matt, it's your round. The beers are on you because I need to be woken up after that first half.
Shout out this Adnam Strange Seas with Beavertown.
Is that any good?
Collaboration brew. Yes, very good.
Brilliant. Look, I'm going to be honest. That first half for me, trash. I'm half asleep. Talk to me.
I thought it was all right. I quite enjoyed seeing these youngsters passing the ball around pretty well. I think they're doing all right. Elkin Baggett's doing all right. Only 17. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's had a very pleasing first half, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sort of in a cross mind really between being bored out of my skull and actually enjoying because we're keeping the ball. We're doing really well at keeping the ball, but there's just nothing going forward. But the youngsters are doing all right. You know, Baggett's having a good little game. So
Baggett's having a fantastic first half. Obviously, he's being shepherded through by Wolfie, and you can see that. But for a young lad, he put 1 foot wrong in that first 45, but he bounced back. And some young players put a foot wrong and then disappear. This guy has kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. I've got Bill Old. Burton game sounds good. A few fans are having issues with their commentary. I can assure you, though, for everyone that criticises out the home team's commentary, I put on the Gillingham commentary for about 5-10 minutes. Tyree Simpson's on loan, apparently. And Gillingham are playing the absolute, are playing the best stuff they've seen and are certainly going to be, winning this game. But Curtis Yates, thoughts the National looks good tonight. Maybe take Kenlock out of the team at Blackpool. Has he looked good?
He's done all right. He's been a little bit cavalier getting forward, hasn't he? He had that little bit of Guion Edwards style trickery down the right hand side. I suppose you can feel. I suppose as a senior pro in these games, maybe you've got a bit more license to be a bit more risky in these matches than you would in a League One game. But he's doing all right, do you know? I mean, I still think he could maybe play on the left hand side for us. 66 appearances for Accrington as left back, so he could still do that in a league game.
Yeah, he's been all right.
No.
Been all right.
No.
Look at Mr. Negative sitting over there. Look,
You've got, as we said before the game. As we said before the game, you've got to stand out in these type of games. Now, Elkin Baggett, obviously, you can see he's raw. You can see he's a few steps away from first team football, but he stood out. For me, Donatian has played Donatian. He's looked okay in patches, but he's not looking like £1 million defender, is he? Out there tonight.
No, he's doing what's needed of him, though. He's solid. He gets back. He wins tackles. He's had to step in a couple of times. He's taking it well.
The contrary notice, I've had a haircut.
I thought your ears were lowered. Johnny Duncan, Lancaster's looking sharp.
Where is he playing this evening, Lancaster? I can't work it out. I mean, he was almost
a free roll.
Box.
Yeah, I thought at one point we were spot on the money with the pre-game selection. Then they switched it up. I think it's as you want to see fit. Dobber obviously comes inside and says, let's switch. And that's good. Giving young players that type of responsibility is really quite pleasing. Talking about Lancaster, before we move on to Cornell, how has Lancaster played in that first half for you, Steve? Has he stood out? Has he really made a claim for Saturday?
He's had a solid game. I don't know if he'd be starting on Saturday, maybe on the bench, but yeah, it's weird to think he's sort of more senior than some of the kids he's playing with. It's quite a strange thing. Same with Wolfie, sort of having to guide Baggett through it. That's a weird thing. But
that is weird. He's now doing the mentoring.
Yeah, so strange. But he's doing all right. It's good to see him back. He's got quick turns of pace, and he's having a solid game, and he's trying to push forward, but he's quick at dropping back as well. So fair play to him. He's just in his first start since I think he said January 19. So yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad in patches. I just want to see a little bit more quality in the final third from a player who we know has got bags of quality, and that he really has got bags. Johnny Duncan, Cornell might replace Holy Saturday. I felt David Cornell was really quite confident in that first half, as he should be.
He's got good feet, hasn't he? Yeah, he's got good feet. He does. We said this when he signed. In the footage, I think Luke put up of him on his video when he signed. He does make really spectacular saves when they don't need to be. Like that shot that they had, that curling shot. It was like a proper straight out there and it went out for a corner, didn't it?
Do you think that, honestly? Do you think it was a bit of a camera save?
I think he does a lot of camera saves. Yeah.
Bit of FIFA 21 camera save.
When I first saw Luke's video, I was thinking he was doing camera saves. Yeah, it's because a bit Hollywood.
Ashley, the Cruncher has a late dinner tonight, and Ashley Bell says, dinner at 8 o'clock, Cruncher. Madness. You'll still be tasting that with your breakfast tomorrow. So, who has stood out that we haven't covered so far in that first
I think
half?
Dobra's doing good. He looks hungry for the ball. He looks comfortable on the ball. I think he started on the left-hand side, didn't he? And then came out to the right. Folami's like, other than that chance Folami had, he hasn't really. He's done a Teddy Bishop. You'd hardly know he was on the pitch. Should have done better with that chance at the end, you know.
I've been a bit let down by Folami, really.
Yeah, well, he's had two glorious chances, particularly the second one. You've got to hit the target. Those are the opportunities where you take, a bit like Jordan Roberts last year. And if you don't change the manager's mind, that's okay. But the fans will eventually start saying, well, why don't we give Folami a chance? You know, he's taking his opportunities in the EFL Trophy. He hasn't done that. Last year, obviously, Roberts did that in bags. Ben King, who's not been very well recently, friend of the show, had been in hospital. He's finally on the mend. Great to hear Ben welcoming this evening.
Yeah,
Ashley Bell, Cornell is Hollywood Cornell. Jacob Farrow on Facebook. I also think Indaba on the left looks exciting, and he thinks it's a pretty good game so far. A couple of players are not quite ready. You can tell that for first team football regularly, like Gibbs. He's been very out of the game throughout. But the guy next to him, Brett McGavin, every time I see him, I think one thing. Why did we extend Cole Skewes? We've got this young, raw talent that can kind of do what everything Cole Skewes does and more.
I do feel like the game slows a little bit when McGavin gets it. He needs like a lot of time on the ball. But yeah, I mean, I think Skewes is there to help mentor him through. I mean, I'm still, you boys know that I'm still in the camp that we need Skewes, because I feel like he brings experience that, we don't get from other areas. We already know there's not enough leaders in the Ipswich team, so at least he's there for that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, you'd like to think that McGavin, is there talk of him going out on loan? He's extended his contract. There's talk of him going out on loan. So we could still see him depart, maybe.
Yep, Johnny Duncan. But that shot was going in, Matt. I'd rather have camera saves than Flappy keeping the balloon in the air moves we saw on Saturday.
What are you all thinking of John McKindy? Another tall player with tidy feet. I don't know. I just wonder whether or not he could do it. That while we got Norwood out, he could do that little job for us there in the middle.
Johnny Kindy, I think there's a reason why he's played at the level he's played at.
13 clubs. Yeah, but we keep saying we haven't got enough people that know the game at this level. And, he's kind of, we're going to miss that Norwood streetwiseness, that bit of
If you want a striker that doesn't score goals, you've already got one at the club. His name's Ollie Hawkins.
Kindy scores goals, scored a lot of goals for Barnet. I know, it was only a couple of 2-3 years ago.
Barnet. At what level was Barnet playing at the time?
Mate, we're still third tier. As much as we don't like it.
No, that's for sure. No, I do agree. But I'm looking at his goal ratio. He got 20 goals for Lincoln last year. Listen, over 3 years.
Posh spent $500,000 on a kid from Barnet.
Yeah. But Johnny Kindy isn't a kid, is he? He's 31.
31. Same age as Judgy. Just a thought I had whilst I was watching the game anyway.
Fair enough. I was trying to stay awake. There was no thoughts going in my head apart from can I find some toothpicks?
He's flicking over to EastEnders here, Steve, I reckon.
Oh, I wish I was. That'd be great. So, second half, very soon. We've got to get some goals, haven't we? Do you want to see any changes? If you do, any off the sub bench tickle your fancy?
It's hard to say, isn't it, really? I would keep this 11 at the moment. I mean, talking of the 11, there's a lot of big Twitter debate on Ipswich have already got their $5,000 fine because they haven't played enough qualifying players, which is correct at the moment, but it also looks the following game. So 4 of those 10 that start the outfield tonight play in the game against Blackpool, we won't get the fine. And you could still see that, couldn't you? You could still, in theory, have Donatian could play, Wolfenden could play, Indaba could play, Lancaster could play, Dobra could play.
Yeah, there's still plenty of room there. Like we said before the game, there's quite a few people who could step into a job on Saturday.
Yeah. What is grating about that $5,000 fine is if they are just happy to waive that, they could have given 500 free vouchers as free streams to the fans. If they were happy to lose $5,000 on it.
What annoys me in regards to this fine is what are you fining clubs for? Essentially, you're fining clubs for essentially giving young players a chance in a country where we are the whole competition is geared to give young players a chance. That's why Man City's kids can play in it. So how come Man City's kids can play in it and can be cutting their teeth at first team level, but our kids can't? Like we're finding clubs that lower down the pyramid. You know what I mean? It should be a case of actually Man City under 23s can play, but they must have 3 senior players in it. Otherwise, we'll fine you because we want to have a bit of glamour in the competition. It's all arse about face. It's all arse about face. I'm sick and tired of of it.
Especially in this COVID world we're in at the moment. I'll just find them £5,000.
Well, anyway, really. I mean, how can the next Marley Watkins be the next Marley Watkins if he's never given a chance to, or Ollie Watkins, any name you want to throw out there. Anyway, Johnny, I'm getting, I'm starting to wake up now. Johnny Duncan, how come it's okay for top levels? There you go do it. Louis Sharp, how Dobra isn't in the first team.
I was thinking that, Louis. Yeah, I was thinking that. He's had some good touches.
He deserves a run.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see him go on loan. I wouldn't want to see Dobra go on loan. I think it's too good.
Sadly, goalkeepers don't count, Ashley. He says he's got 4 first-team players, which I think is a cop-out in itself. Because
when they count,
you can only play 1 goalkeeper. So if you've got 2 that have played over 45 games, surely that's okay. I mean,
it doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, you can't play 4 goalies, can you? It's not like,
9 years EFL, Martin. They're probably still working on last season's rules, and they'll suddenly change it for this post-pandemic world we're in. You know what I mean?
I think it's crazy. Anyway, so far, Elkan Bagger gets my man of the match. I think he's been outstanding. Had a really good opening game. We'll return at full time. We've got Adam Flatt on the show, Luke Penning on the show, Steve on the show, Matt Phillips on the show, me on the show. I'll be a lot more awake, I promise you. To
Can I have a Red Bull?
I don't drink Red Bull. That's right. Oh, no.
Stick a vodka.
Yes, several. But we'll be here right on the full-time whistle to bring you our news and views and your views. Get involved at full time. The teams are now coming out. We'll see you all
See you in a bit.
very soon.